Orioles 2027. So, normally do an update about a third of the way through the season. And I was going to update less this season, but then I figured what the heck, I'd just go ahead and put one up. So, one game over the 1/3 mark, so 53 games in, because that was the end of a series. So, we're at 33 and 20, first place, 5.5 games up. Heck yeah. Expanded standings, our run differential is plus 38, so we have 2 wins more than our run differential suggests we should have, but killing it at home at 17 and 7. Extra inning games, we've been really lucky, 7 and 1. Struggling a little bit against lefties, wins lost wise. I haven't dug that much into the individual hitter data yet in terms of what's going on there, but that's the overall team. Anything else weird going on in the league? Let's see, the Mariners, that's weird that they're winning. The NL East is pretty mediocre. 28 and 26 is first place. Padres and Dodgers, of course, are on top. Diamondbacks had a good run last year, but did what they could to keep up for 1 year in the NL West. Man, the Padres and the Dodgers are just unreal in this. And as was pointed out recently, Juan Soto, as always, leading the NL and actually all of majors in OPS. He's had an okay career for the Nationals, but unfortunately they waste him on a terrible team there. So what's going on? So the first thing is we just got some news today, Monday, May 31st, 2027, that Asa Lacy is going to miss 2 months with a torn bicep. That sucks. He was having a really nice season. You can see he was on pace for 5.2 WAR. His ERA is 4.3, but his FIP was just 3.10. Striking out 10 guys per inning, just about. His home runs are way down at 0.7 home runs per 9, which is what it was in his Rookie of the Year Cy Young Award year. And since then, it's been about double that, but he's keeping the ball in the park this year. Who knows why? His movement, my scout actually thought was not as good this year. And movement tends to keep the ball in the park. But anyways, he was pitching like a number 1 pitcher, which he really hadn't the last couple of years. He's been more like a 2 or a 3 pitcher since his ace rookie year. But he'll be back right around the trade deadline, end of July, beginning of August. But that sucks. But, we have a good enough team. And then, and Corrigan, one of my ace relievers from last year who hasn't been as good this year, he's out. But that's a short-term injury. And in terms of how the team's doing, runs scored, we're 4th in the AL. And you can see we're only 10th in home runs. So we're 2nd in average, 2nd in on base, 5th in slugging, 3rd in OPS. So we don't hit the ball out of the park a lot, but it's actually like opposite of last year with the team of, the pitching's awesome. And I think getting rid of Robin Ventura, who was terrible for pitching staffs, sorry, I had to move my chair, I don't know if that squeaking was loud, has been really good. So the runs allowed were 3rd. The bullpen has struggled a little bit. But all in all, the ERA is way down this year, way better. And keeping the ball in the yard somehow a lot. 5th in the AL in home runs allowed. Normally we're like 13th, 14th, 15th. And then a huge difference is the defense. One of the 1st in zone rating, 2nd in efficiency. We're 3rd in BABIP. So that's pretty awesome. That's what you want to see. I'm actually curious here on the team. Actually, you know what? I'll leave this later. But, team pitching statistics there. That's what I want to see. ERA. So, a bunch of teams are under 3. So, the 4.19 is the league average, and we're at 3.65 team ERA. So, that's pretty awesome. Especially in Camden Yards. Really struggled with that in this sim. So, then we go to the team. And for some reason, none of the WAR is showing up here. There's no split on. This is super bizarre. Let's try to switch it off and then back on. I've never had that happen before. Split, regular season. Oh, there it is. Weird. I don't know why it needed that. All right. Anyways, so you can see Campusano and Carlson are leading the way. You can pretty much multiply these by 3 to get what a guy's on pace for. So both on pace for, between 6 and 7 WAR. Pretty awesome seasons. Their runs created plus are through the roof. Cartey has been very good as a backup catcher. Matan just soldiering on as a solid, really good third baseman for us. Mountcastle and Tucker both been solid. Then Henderson just kind of, a league average hitter is what he seems to be, who puts up a solid WAR because he plays a decent shortstop. Rosario has been a little disappointing with the bat, and then Bowser, Albert. Neither have been great. But the real story here is designated hitter Colin Hall and Raul Baracierta are in a platoon there, and they're both awesome last year in a bit of limited roles. I think they had maybe 600 at bats between the two of them. So with Larnack gone this year, they are playing. I gave them the platoon job because they were so good last year, and neither of them have been good. So if I'm going to upgrade the hitting, which I'll get to, it's going to be there at DH. So a little disappointing. We'll see. Maybe they can get it together. And then pitching side of things, you can see in the rotation, Patino's been awesome, 1.3 WAR. He's on pace for 3.9, so his ERA is 2.37, but his FIP is 3.82, so he's overachieved a little bit. On pace for over 20 wins, which, not the best indicator of how good a pitcher is necessarily, but rare in this game that you get 20 game winners with how quick the hook is. His strikeouts are way down. Strikeouts have gone 9.1, 8.0, and now 7.4 this year, but hey, he's making it work somehow. He's making it work somehow with that low BABIP so far. Jimenez has been awesome, worth his $15 million salary. Feltman hasn't given up a run yet in 15 innings. He should probably be used a bit more. With the rest of the way, Cedarland's been really solid. He's got a 3.5 ERA, 4.75 FIP. Isn't great, but keeping the ball in the yard. And then Mitchell Stone has kind of reestablished himself as a fifth starter for me, but now he's fourth with Lacey out. And Jack Perkins is back up. Perkins was the 8th overall pick in 2022. He came up at the beginning of this year when Delgado was out, and he pitched he gave 5 starts, 4.39 ERA, FIP around the same, and he just got called back up with Lacey out. So he hasn't started yet, but he's back in the rotation. Jaden Hill, a young pitcher, trying to make his name after missing 2 straight years with arm injuries. And then the middle relief crew has struggled a bit, but we'll see. Lawson and Little actually got demoted from back end role where he'd been so good the last 2 years. I mean, he put up 2.6 WAR and then 1.2 WAR, and that was in an injury-shortened season. So he's been unlucky this year as the ERA is like 2 runs higher than his FIP, but we'll see. These guys are all holding it down, though. Jimenez, Feltman, Hackemer, Andrews. And then to go to what I could possibly do, which would be kind of fun to figure out the DH situation, is Bob Maldonado, 21 years old, 34th best prospect in baseball. He's in AA, and he has a 124 runs created plus. Sorry, just taking my sip of my water there. His walks have gone up each year. His strikeouts are way down. He's not ripping the cover off the ball, and he did just turn 21, and my scout thinks he's still fairly below his overall potential. But I could always see what happens if I was willing to start his service time clock. Am I going to be able to get somebody in a trade that's better than him? I don't know. So that's worth keeping an eye on here. I might do that. Franklin Sanchez, possibly the center fielder of the future here. She's 20 years old, 23rd best prospect in baseball, and absolutely demolishing A-ball with a 140 OPS plus, on pace for 5.1 WAR. Ben Schilt is having a nice season in AA, first round supplemental pick just 2 years ago in 2025, top 100 prospect. This was the pick I think we got when we let Verdugo go. He's on pace for 2.4 WAR in AA, so nice season there so far. And really, Josh Kramer is a guy to keep an eye on. He murdered A-ball last year with a 160 OPS plus and 6.3 WAR. And my offense was just too crowded at the next level to move him up during the year. So he's in high A this year, playing against a little better competition with a 138 OPS plus, on pace for 3.5 WAR. So he's a guy who could move up pretty quickly. I might move him up to Bowie soon if he keeps doing well. So yeah, that's kind of the squad. I got the draft coming up. Possibly Maldonado. I've got $9.178 million left in the budget. That's to spend on the draft and anything I want to do with the team. So we'll see what happens with that. And I just re-signed my scout and my trainer. They've been with me since the beginning. So anyways, yeah, that's the team. We're 33-20. We're in first place. We're playing awesome, and I think there's room for improvement too. Hopefully, we can overcome that Lacey injury and keep on trucking.